do, would be like make a motion to everybody can still have a chat and we can vote. Yes. Without.
Two years ago.
I asked this morning.
They published it in June.
And I did have some. Official typically. And I was more right. Sometimes I want to be.
On the economic side. And the first sentence was about moral imperative and then it was economics.
Letting the third page. Yeah.
Read it. Yeah.
I know, right? Yeah. Miguel, are you?
Huh? Oh, yes.
Good.
Huh?
Good. But this isn't working anyway. You don't really need to be clicking on that that much. It never connected. That's
My friend's daughter has ballet though. She's gonna have to give up her ballet or the.
Right. Council meeting of May 19th, 2026 is called to order. First, we're gonna do the pledge of allegiance. I pledge allegiance
to the flag, United States of America, to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Right. Mary, will you please do roll call?
Yes, I will. Councilmember Blush.
Here.
Councilmember Stern. Here. Councilmember Anisko.
Here.
Mayor Sherman.
Here.
Deputy Mayor Sapp.
Here.
Councilmember Demore.
Here.
Councilmember Gutierrez.
Here.
All right. Does council have any late changes to the agenda?
Mayor, I have one late change if you don't mind.
Yes, please.
Under E presentations, I'd like to change the order and move the first quarter financial report to number 1 and the public proclamation number 2. 1 minute.
Hmm.
What? I heard that.
All right, thank you. Do council members have any, oh, sorry, does the council have any late changes to the agenda? And we were speaking on E.
Yes, E, changing the order, moving the first quarter finance report up to number 1, E, and the public works proclamation is.
I'm fine with that. Does anybody have a problem with that? Okay. All right, great, thank you. Council reports. Do any council members have a board report to share?
I have a report.
Great.
All right, of course, attended the May 5th council meeting here. Wednesday, the 6th, I attended a Lions Club board meeting. And I also had a meeting with a school representative. Thursday, the 7th, I cooked at Community Lifeline. Friday, the 8th, I attended a ribbon cutting ceremony. On the 10th, I completed the 3K 4-mile plus Karen Hilburn Breast Cancer Mother's Day Dash, finishing 48 out of 78.
Good job.
Did a little better last year, but I didn't want to get sore this year. On May 9th, I participated in a chili cook-off for charity at Martha Reed Foundation. I didn't win that either. May 11th, county briefing. The port applied for some 09 funds to assist a Canadian company planning to relocate to Johns Prairie, creating over 20 jobs, and they'll construct their own facility. As per RCW, a county must notify other applicants, so this topic was removed from the May 12th agenda. This aligns with the definition of economic development intended for the 09 funds. Several applicants are competing for the portion of $4 million, including us, the city. The May 12th County Commission meeting, MACOM board meeting, We were briefed on the CAD and the RMS server update. Everything is going as well as planned. There's 13 positions it says open. There's 13 positions right now on the floor, 4 vacancies, and they have 2 supervisor promotions recently. They also discussed a potential 38% increase to user fees next year to cover expenses. And then we had our study session. And then May 13th, I attended a Mason County opiate stakeholders meeting in Union. Telecare did a operations presentation on their facility. I reported that they had 26 discharges to Mason County, with 2 going into shelters and 5 supportive housing. They also confirmed that they have a priority for Mason and Thurston County residents, and they did have availability of a few beds at that meeting. I attended a Kratom collaboration meeting with multiple agencies, also on the 13th, and also attended a business after hours at Peninsula Credit Union.
Sorry, I don't want to interrupt, but I think we might have some people in the crowd who might want some headsets.
Oh,
It's like the speakers are off.
okay. I mean, I'm not too exciting, but
Many people are just, we just
All
have to
right.
project a little better than normal.
I attended a business after hours at a Peninsula Credit Union across the street. I had my council agreement with Mark, our city manager. I attended a chamber luncheon, and Monday I had a Lions Club meeting, and that is my report.
All right, does anybody else have a board report to share? Okay, we're moving on to the consent agenda. Is there a motion to approve the consent agenda as published?
So moved.
Second.
All right, and all in favor, say aye.
Aye.
All opposed? Motion carried. All right. The council invites the public to make comments on matters of city business. Comments shall be made to the entire council and not to individual council members. Please refrain from any personal or disrespectful remarks that create disruptions to the meeting. If unreasonably disruptive conduct continues, you will be asked to leave the meeting. When you get to the podium, please state your name and if you're a resident to the city or the county. Also, I see that we have a lot of people signed up, and I'm so glad so many people care. But with that being said, and we want as many people to be heard as humanly possible. At this point, it looks like public comment will be over 2.5 hours. So with that being said, is somebody interested in making a motion to reduce the time to speak to 2 minutes to 3, so that we can, I'm sorry, this is for council only, so that everybody can have an opportunity to speak and we can be out of here and get our business done before midnight?
I move to set the time limit to 2 minutes per person so that we can try to get as many people through as possible.
All right, we have a motion and a second to reduce the time for public comment to 2 minutes. And so, Mary, I assume we do have some people.
No,
So we have some disagreement.
further
We
discussion.
have discussion.
Okay,
I would like everyone to get their full 3 minutes. They might not use it all, but everyone deserves a chance to speak on this topic. And thank you everyone for coming out. And I think this is more unified than divisive. We're all out here together speaking about the future of our county and our city. So thank you all for being here, and I respect your voice and your time.
all right, so
I would also like to give everybody their 3 minutes. I mean, we've never reduced the time to 2 minutes in my 8 years, and I don't know why we would start now. I think everybody should have a right to speak on whatever side that they're on and whatever issue they're on. So I think that they should be able to speak in as well.
all right. Do we need a vote for this? All right. All in favor of reducing the time to 2 minutes for tonight's public comment, say aye. Aye. All opposed?
No.
No,
All right, it's 4 to 3.
roll call vote, please.
All right, roll call vote, please, Mary.
Councilmember Blush,
Aye.
Councilmember Stearns. Aye. Councilmember Inisco,
Nay.
Mayor Sherman,
Aye.
Deputy Mayor Staff.
Aye.
Motion passes.
Nay for the record, nay.
All right, so at this point, Mary, who do we have signed up for public comment first?
And Mayor, just one,
Great, please.
we have some people out there, so
Mhm.
we have some help that's gonna go
We have a
treat
minute.
people if they're not here, so it might take a minute to move some people out. If you
Absolutely.
don't mind, I'll ask the clerk to call a couple names at a time, that way if somebody's prepared.
Maybe who's up and then who's on deck.
Correct.
Maybe-
Perfect.
All right, thank you.
It's baseball season.
Okay. Our first speaker is Philip Wilson, and on deck is Halsey Hallinan.
Right. I felt.
Good evening. My name is Philip Wilson, and I'm a resident of Mason County. I want to thank you for making yourselves available to hear testimony about what is best for Shelton. When it comes to government, its function and its function, there are three responses government can take to specific issues. They can prevent, they can permit, or promote equal issue. There's a canard here. There's a canard floating around that says you can't legislate morality. In reality, that is the only thing you can legislate. It just depends on what your morality is, because that is what's going to be legislated. So what principles should be used to guide us forward? Well, whether you like it or not, this nation was founded on explicitly Christian principles. The ideas in our Declaration of Independence, of which we are celebrating the 250th year, amazingly, come largely from reprinted sermons of John Weiss and the pulpits of the revolutionary time period. Frankly, there would have been no revolution without the Great Awakening and the tremendous ministries of people like George Whitefield, who is estimated spoke to 1/3 of the people in the colonies at that time, and he didn't have transportation like we have today. The idea that all men are created equal is explicitly a Christian idea that the Greeks and Romans would have laughed at. The sexual revolution has been a disaster for our country. Today, we have falling marriage and birth rates. This only harms our children. These are not good signs for our society, and certainly not anything that we should be promoting and celebrating. Our kids are confused because of what they're being taught in schools.
Thank you, Phil. Appreciate it. Right.
Next is Halsey Hallinan, and on deck is Beth Johnston.
Halsey Hallinan.
Halsey. Halsey.
So I'm a born and raised Sheltonian from Head Start to high school, and I've lived and worked in this community, and I've been openly queer since I was 12 years old. I have the lived experience of growing up queer in Shelton and the oppression that comes with that. To deny that Shelton has homophobia or transphobia problem, or to act like this proclamation isn't needed, with all due respect, is a statement that none of you are qualified to make except for Gutierrez. And you know, I thought a lot about how to use my 3 minutes today, which is now 2, because at first I was extremely ashamed of a couple of you, but we're a community. And I think that a lot of people don't understand what community means, including some of y'all on the council, so I'll just tell you. Community means coexisting with people that you may not agree with or may not like, and fighting for equality for the most marginalized among them. I thought that my time may be better spent to tell you what our community is going to look like in the next decade using facts. Fact number 1 is that Mason County had 1,400 new residents in the last year alone, most of whom moved to Shelton and the surrounding unincorporated areas. We are one of the fastest growing rural counties in the country. Fact, Seattle has issued a state of emergency due to the sudden influx of queer Americans coming to Washington to avoid oppression. They don't have room for everyone, so folks are obviously moving to Olympia and Shelton too. And the last fact is that Washington State is a sanctuary state for queer people, and that includes Shelton. I have had decades of communication experience, and one thing that I've learned is that when somebody oppresses you or denies your lived experience, it comes from a place of fear. Fear of the different, fear of the unknown, and fear of the self. And the best way to turn that fear into coexistence is immersion. If you're not sitting down and opening a dialogue with your minority groups, which was offered to the mayor, and she declined to do so, then you're not representing your community well. Let me be clear, Shelton Pride is going to happen regardless of whether a city proclamation is issued or not, and it's going to get bigger, better, and more queer every year. But more importantly, if there's somebody watching this public meeting worried about their safety as a queer Sheltonian, I want you to know how diverse this city is. We have a large queer and trans population. We're nestled between 2 incredible indigenous tribes, and 29% of our population identifies as Hispanic. Voter-wise, we're purple across the board, and everyone is welcome here.
Thank you very much.
Beth Johnston, and on deck is Ari Green.
Good evening. My name is Beth Johnston. I'm glad to be here. I'm a longtime resident of Shelton, a retired nurse. I ask you to support this Pride proclamation for 3 reasons. First of all, I'm a Christian and I'm told to love my neighbor. When Jesus was asked, who's your neighbor? He stated that a Samaritan, the most hated, despised group of people, that person was to be loved. No, I don't think LGBTQ people are hated or despised. In fact, I think most of us know many more people than we know. Maybe your favorite teacher in elementary school. Maybe the nurse who saved your father's life when he had the heart attack. Maybe the chaplain who sat with your mother while they were waiting to see what would happen with your father. Maybe the new baby of your favorite neighbor. Maybe the person who changed your grandmother's tire. All of those people could be LGBTQ and we wouldn't know it. Number 2 reason, should we make an exception, a special, carve out a special class? Absolutely. That's the way in this country that we have gotten rights. I'm 74 years old and I remember when there would not have been a female mayor. There would not have been a female running for president. There were not female physicians, very few. There were not, I could go on, but it's because of the year of the woman, because of the rights, the marches for women's rights that we did back then, so that women today, still not completely equal, but they've gotten closer. So we need to give this group special, well, why? Number 3 reason, let's look at the facts, even if you're not sold on the morality and the ethics of this. And that is that the LGBTQ population has a higher incidence of homelessness. And we say we're trying to do something about homelessness, a higher incidence of not having health care. We need to support them. Thank you.
Thank you so much.
Ari Green, and then on deck is Victoria Meadows.
Hello, I'm Ari Green, they them pronouns for me, please. As most of us are likely aware, the federal attitude towards LGBTQ people and especially trans people has been quite hostile recently and historically. But my point is that the LGBT people and our civil rights are being threatened in real time. It was important to me to make an effort to protect my LGBTQ neighbors' sense of local safety and belonging this year, especially with this national context in mind. We essentially asked the city of Shelton to publicly acknowledge that LGBTQ people have a place in Shelton. And Mayor Sherman, Deputy Mayor Sapp, and Councilmember Blush wouldn't do so. Mayor Sharon Sherman went as far as to say that Pride proclamations can frame the LGBTQ community as victims or unwelcome, something that she asserted is just not true in our community. Contradictingly, Councilmember Blush stated that this isn't something that we want in our community. On May 15th, Carl Barrett shared Pastor Kelly's response to the vote against the proclamation on the Shelton Talks Facebook group. A quick look at the comments on that post will demonstrate the hostility some people in Shelton harbor against the LGBTQ community. While the rejection of our application for a 2026 Pride Month proclamation is disappointing and concerning to me, as Mayor Sherman and Councilman Blush's apparent their disconnect with the lived experience of the LGBTQ people sharing this city with them as neighbors, I'm ultimately grateful I chose to involve myself in this push for a proclamation. While seeking to organize this effort, I met members and allies of the LGBTQ community that I had not been aware of before. With or without a city-sanctioned Pride Month proclamation, I proclaim that Shelton Pride is alive and well. We will dazzle and delight in each other and our beautiful history and culture this June and every day. Please call for a re-vote.
Thank you.
It's Victoria Meadows, on deck is Kelly Domingo.
I am Victoria Meadows. I've been a Mason County resident since 1984. I've lived, shopped, and worked in the city of Shelton. The Mason County and the city of Shelton overcame its stereotype of being narrow-minded when in 1978, it elected a woman to the Superior Court, the second woman in the state, Carol Fuller. In recent years, it has overcome the stereotype of being narrow-minded when it's began supporting and acknowledging Gay Pride Month and now LGBTQ+ month. The national history goes back to 1969 in the Stonewall Uprising. Gay people were being harassed and violence against them for a long time, and they said enough. This evolved from riots the first year to gay pride parades the next. They chose to take a peaceful route. Since 1999, presidents have declared June as Pride Month, recognizing the hardships and the accomplishments of the LGBTQ+ community. I encourage the city council to acknowledge the contribution, set aside your personal biases, despite the hardships and the harassment that occurs against these persons, and they are people. Failure to pass this proclamation is a step backwards and feeds the stereotype of a narrow-minded community. We are better than that. Let's do better than that. Vote yes for the proclamation.
Thank you.
Kelly Dolman Hope, and then Joey Gentry.
Mayor Sherman, Deputy Mayor Sapp, and council members, my name is Kelly Dolman Oath. I am a resident of Mason County. I am the pastor of Shelton United Methodist Church and a Christian my entire life. Shelton United Methodist Church has been a part of this community since 1885. So when our church council and I sent an email to each of you last week urging you to pass this proclamation, I would have thought that you would have at least taken it into consideration. Instead, I stand before you disappointed in 3 of you for voting against the Pride Proclamation for equal protection under the law for our family members, friends, neighbors, congregation members, and customers of our businesses. Instead, I witnessed what I can only describe as disingenuous rhetoric, that you were voting with those who, to quote Mr. Blush, said we don't want this in our community. I use the word disingenuous because he also claimed later in the same meeting that everyone in this community is welcome and no one is discriminated against. When I shared that on social media, as heard, my disgust and disappointment, sadly, was in response to some toxic public comments from people in this community, some probably in this room, who, quote, don't want that expletive in our town. There were plenty of disgusting, hateful, discriminatory comments on Facebook talks. Some saying the LGBT community should leave, go to Olympia, go to Seattle, others quite graphic and using expletives that I wouldn't use in this chamber or anywhere else. Quite frankly, and clearly, there are some folks in this community who do discriminate against our LGBTQ neighbors, families, friends, and your constituents. It is obvious to me and to many who are present here that discrimination in this town still exists and is boldly on public display. Thus, it is your duty as elected, responsive representatives of everyone in this community to state that all should receive equal protection under the law. After 4 years of approving similar proclamations, the vote against this statement is clear message.
Thank you.
Joey Gentry Smith, and then Rick Manning.
My name is Joey Gentry Smith, and I reside in Mason County. I work in the city of Shelton, and I spend most of my paycheck here as well. I'm, first of all, reducing the time is a dirty act of aggressiveness and aggression. I'm here tonight in support of the Pride Proclamation and as an ally to Two-Spirit and the LGBTQIA community. I respectfully ask City Council to vote in favor of Pride Month Proclamation. Voting in favor of this proclamation sends a clear message that hatred, ignorance, and bigotry have no place in Shelton. It tells our community, especially those who have felt unsafe, unseen, or pushed to the margins, that they matter and are safe and are welcomed here. When we allow one marginalized group to be targeted, devalued, or treated as less deserving of dignity, less deserving of justice, less deserving of protection, it creates a dangerous path for hatred and discrimination to further spread in our community. History and this current regime have shown us that silence and inaction only embolden ignorance and hatred and bigotry. Tonight's a legacy decision for you. People will always remember whether you chose to cower and cater to bigotry, hatred, and division, or whether you chose kindness, courage, community building, and humanity. I came here tonight to publicly stand in support of the Two-Spirit and LGBTQIA community and ask you to stand with them as well. Show our community that Shelton is a place where all people are welcomed, valued, and safe. Please vote yes to the Pride Proclamation. Thank you. Thank you.
Rick Manning and then Gabriel Moore.
In the beginning of the Bible, it talks about how God created man and woman. And he says, then be fruitful and multiply. He also said, shortly thereafter, this is very good. Very good. Of course, one thing we all share in common here is that we are sinners. But I think the thing that might be missing here is that some of us are trying to distance ourselves from personal sin that has so easily entangles us up and gets us off walking in faith with God, both Bible. And in that Bible, he clearly says what is sinful and what is holy. And as a Christian, we ought to be walking with God, pursuing holiness, which means without sin. Without sin. So it's not the people that is the issue here. It is the sin which so easily entangles. Now, in the book of Jeremiah, chapter 30, God uses the imagery for an illusion of sin, where he says that can a man give birth to a child? Then why do I see men behaving like women? Basically, Jeremiah is trying to warn Israel that they are stepping out of bounds that were divinely set, and it's clearly said in the Word of God. Well, as it happened, they were basically taken prisoner and exiled for 70 years. And then God did say that they would, anyway.
Thank you. Appreciate it.
Gabriel Moore, then Beth McBain.
Hello, my name is Gabriel Mora, and I just wanted to say I appreciate the opportunity to speak to you guys today. And I just first generation Mexican American, born again Christian. And to the council members that voted against the proclamation, I just want to say thank you. You guys are doing the right thing.
Thank you.
Beth McBain, then Buffy Butler.
Hi, I'm Beth McBain, and thank you for the chance to comment here today. I'm here representing Shelton Shopping Adventures, and we'd like to ask your support for a new endeavor. Shelton Shopping Adventures was created in the spirit of collaboration between Shelton's antique, vintage, and specialty shops, and we're all proud members of the downtown Shelton merchants community. Our growing group is dedicated to helping make downtown Shelton a welcoming and vibrant place for all, whether our visitors live here in Mason County full-time, have vacation property, are here for short-term stay, or just passing through. Our goal is to show folks what we've got and give them a good reason to return. Friday, June 12th will mark our 10th Best Friends Fridays event. If you're not aware of the BFF origin story, Best Friends Fridays was designed to make Shelton a little greater by staying open later once a month. On the second Friday, we go crazy and stay open until 7:30. So we are hoping that folks will come out. Sometimes we give things away. Last November, our theme was Thankful for You, and we decided to give a Tankful for You with a $100 gift card for gas. It could be really popular again this year. It's no secret that people will seek out destinations that offer vintage shopping opportunities. A great example is our recent Vintage Garden Mother's Day Market, which drew
up to 2,000 guests of this past event. It was from throughout the region and was sponsored in part by Shelton Shopping Adventures. We want to continue to draw that dedicated segment of retail shoppers to our community. And we'd like to say thank you to this Shelton Police Department and the city for our help. And tonight we want to ask for additional support with our upcoming plans for Shelton Lemon Days, sidewalk sale, and summer fair. So we're hoping we can work with city management and the rest of the group here to bring that forward and make a great summer experience for everybody.
Thank you so much.
Kathy Butler, then Cheryl Yamamoto.
Hello, everyone. I just want to thank you for hearing us speak. And I want to answer a question that was asked at the previous one, and that was, what does pride have to do with the government? I want to tell you what it has to do with government. It's called human rights.
Yes.
Over 520 anti-LGBTQ plus bills were introduced in state legislature across the US this year alone, with dozens already passed into law. This is why we have pride. What doesn't belong in government is your religious beliefs. That's irrelevant in the law. The LGBTQ community has been on this land before white people got here. They were two-spirit people, and they had different names throughout the Americas. Different nations, different names. Why do we need pride? Because gay people had to fight for the right to exist, to hold the hand of our partners in public, to give them a simple kiss, just like every heterosexual person here gets the privilege to do. We don't have that privilege. I've had to worry about who would potentially attack me physically for holding my partner's hand in public. And I guarantee no heterosexual person has had to worry about that. We had to fight for the right to have children, to have the same rights to pick up our children from school, to see our spouses in the hospital if they're sick. It is very much a legal issue and deserves the government's assistance. Proclaiming pride simply says, we see you, the LGBTQ community, our fellow citizens who we work for, as part of this community. That's all it is. And we won't be quiet. That's why we have pride. This is an ongoing issue. Every year, pride is a movement. It is an activist movement. We want a revote, or we want a certification of recognition as citizens of this city and county. Thank you very much.
Then Eric Michael Black.
Okay, really nervous.
Name?
But I'm here because my really good friend and neighbor asked me to. I'm speaking in regards to the pride proclamation in favor of a revote. I am an ally. Some of my best friends and ever have been gay and queer, trans, and everything in between. And I'm a survivor of severe childhood trauma, right? They saw me, never judged, and I never judged them. And my career as a primary care provider, I saw so many people with all kinds of differences, people that never saw them, and I've seen firsthand all kinds of discrimination against them. People with handicaps, people with mental illnesses, people with different physical illnesses, and it just goes on and on. And I promise that every single person here knows and loves somebody who feels different. And in a significant way. And it's time that we make everyone feel seen. And because the world needs to be a better place, we need to help it be a better place. Because no one else is going to do it. And everyone deserves to be recognized for who they are. They need to be seen. And so I'm asking for a revote.
Thank you.
Petitioning, for, or petitioning for.
Thank you.
Get a recognition.
Okay, thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you. First, Michael Black, then Margaret Riordan. Eric Michael Black.
Black is last name.
Yeah, people out.
That's fine. Move on to the next one.
Okay, next.
Margaret Riordan.
Yeah, I'm making my way to. Am I up?
Yes, ma'am.
Yes, ma'am.
So do you mind checking out there for Mr. Black? Okay.
You up? Yes. You are.
Oh, okay.
Hello, Shelton City Council. My name is Eric Michael Black, and I am a queer, transgender refugee and proud resident of this town. I was born and raised in the Deep South and moved here at the end of 2024, looking for a rural and quiet life. I have since worked to weave myself into the fabric of Shelton. I've been connecting people who've lived here their whole lives yet never met. I've hosted queer events at my home, an event at the local library, and even a quiet protest at Denny's when a server there shared some bigoted thoughts on the town's Facebook page. We could have reported him to corporate and gotten him fired, but instead, about 20 of us went to Denny's, got seated in the section, and had a good time together, decked out in queer clothing. We told him why we were there and treated him with great kindness and left an excellent tip. We weren't seeking confrontation, but the opportunity to show him that even when y'all call us demonic and the F slur, we are not your enemy. We are your neighbors and your friends. Queers will not stay confined to cities like Olympia. As you can see, many of us prefer small town life, like the ones we found here in Shelton. And as red states become more hostile, more queer and transgender refugees will come to call Shelton home. You can either welcome us and the richness we bring with us, or dig in your heels in a futile attempt to halt the march of progress. But no matter how you vote today, we will still be here, day in, day out, working to make Shelton a loving and accepting place for all residents. That said, I'm here to support Miguel and request that he call for a revote on the Pride Proclamation. There are too many of us here to sweep us under the rug.
Margaret Riordan, then Erica Adams.
Deputy Beaker Building. All right, my name is Margaret Bearden. I'm a resident of Shelton. I agree with all the people here and everything they've said about promoting the Pride Proclamation. This is the right thing to do in terms of human rights, in terms of dignity, and in terms of freedom. My ex-husband is gay. My daughter's stepfather is gay. He is the grandfather. He is the grandfather of my children. My children, my grandchildren, they are not confused. They are happy and well adjusted. To say that this issue confuses children is inaccurate. What they are confused about is injustice and cruelty. And if we do not support this proclamation, we are promoting injustice and cruelty. Even if we're not concerned about those things, we should be concerned about economic development in this city. How many people do not want to come here because they do not proclaim, they do not perceive Shelton as a safe place? My family members who don't live here don't want to come. They don't think it's safe. They're gonna go someplace else and spend their money. This is not who we want to be. This is not gonna promote our well-being as a community. This is not gonna help to alleviate poverty. I don't understand really why this is not being done. I really don't. People say on this council that they want economic development and public safety. But if you really want economic development and public safety, you need to vote for this proclamation. Thank you.
Thank you.
Adams, then Cynthia Rattler.
City Council was our first event in the building, and Jason did us for bringing it to you guys and Keith, our electoral. We had a really successful event and just thank you. Out of the box thinking, out of the box. Yeah, I don't even know what to say, but thank you. So, I appreciate, we had people from all over the south side would come. It was a lot of work, but, thanks, the police station was good too. Thanks, guys.
Thank you.
Cynthia Rattler, then Eileen Fremen, you probably mispronounced it, but Cynthia Rattler.
Do you mean Cynthia
Radke?
Radke? That's your name?
Radke, okay, no worries. That's my husband's fault. I'm Cynthia Radke and I am a member or a resident of Shelton in Mason County. And first of all, I just want to say thank you to our committee for voting the way that they did. I think it's really important to express the concern that I have in a sense that it's not about not liking people. It's not about not recognizing and appreciating people's rights to love or care about who they care about. That's very important to give that freedom to people. And I want to reiterate that I believe that the people I know that voted against this proclamation agree with that. I also, as a retired teacher, feel it's important to point out, working with high school students, how many times I have heard kids come into my classroom and say, Mrs. Radke, why are the people so aggressive toward me if I don't agree with their stance on LGBTQ? We're not against them, we like them, they're our friends, but why are they so aggressive to us? And I think it's important for that to be noted because it's not about being aggressive, it's about being inclusive, as I did tonight, in a positive, uplifting, and encouraging way. And I think that's really important how we portray ourselves, no matter what side we might be on. One thing that I want to leave at the very end is a verse from the Bible in James. And it's James 4:17-18, and it says, wisdom comes from above, and it's pure, it's peaceable, it's gentle, it's willing to yield, it's full of mercy and good fruits. It's without partiality or hypocrisy. The fruit of righteousness is sown in peace by those who make peace. Thank you. Eileen for framing, then Rick Wilder. The first name? Eileen. Eileen. She's coming.
Good evening. My name is Eileen Perfreeman. I've been a resident of this county for 30 years. I believe that diversity comes in many formats. Some are very obvious, some are very subtle. All of it provides a very strong community. I therefore respectfully request that you consider a revote to make June Pride Month. Thank you very much.
Yes, okay.
Rick Wilder, then Shannon Murphy.
Hi, my name is Rick Wilder and I pastor Shelton Bible Baptist Church. And I want to thank you for allowing me to speak tonight. I want to thank the mayor, the council members, and those that are willing to serve. It seems like it's getting tougher and tougher when you think about leadership. Leadership's not easy, especially in the days when there's so many emotions, different opinions, and you want to try to please everybody. Just sometimes it just don't work to please everybody. But as a pastor, I do believe that every person has a value and dignity because we are all created in the image of God. In Genesis 1:27, it says, God created man in his own image. And because of that, every person should be treated with kindness. Every person should be treated with respect and compassion. But at the same time, I have to understand my convictions as a Christian, they're rooted in the Bible. That's my foundation that I build upon. It's in the Bible. And when I think about I cannot change or compromise what I believe with scripture regarding marriage, sexuality, God's design for humanity. Ephesians 4:15 tells us, speak the truth in love. And I appreciate the desire of people to feel valued and respected in our community. However, I agree with the mayor that the role of the city government is not to govern fairly, but it's govern fairly for all citizens rather than officially recognizing or promoting particular identities and viewpoints. And take it for this. Let's have a month for Baptist month. Let's have a month for Bible month. Let's have a month for Scholarly month. Let's have a month for all of these. I think we have to sit down and really, we want to be kind and generous to all people. But my prayer tonight is that we have wisdom, peace, and I pray for all of you. Thank you.
Thank you.
Shannon Murphy, then Wolf Erickson.
What was the last name for Shannon?
Murphy,
Shannon Murphy? And then Wolf.
Shannon Murphy.
You okay?
Yeah, that could be Diane.
Fun. Here, it's nice. It doesn't look anyway.
Hi, I'm a resident of the city of Shelton. And sometimes doing nothing speaks louder than doing something. And that is what you have done by allowing this proclamation to fail. You have gone so far as to minimize our voices by dropping the time we have to speak. And I want to let you know that my family's from Oklahoma. My child is non-binary. And we've left that oppression, moved to this state so that we would be comfortable and safe in the community. You voted against this proclamation because you deemed it unnecessary because you felt the community was supported and represented. There are over 250 people here tonight representing those who do not feel safe, supported, or represented. You have made it so my child does not feel safe living near her mother. As city council members who hold the power to make the extensive marginalized community outside these doors tonight feel safe, you opted to do nothing. I ask you, Miguel, to please sponsor a revote proclamation for at minimum a certificate of recognition to every business who signed in support of the original proclamation with city support for the upcoming Pride Parade. Thank you.
wait 1 second, I'm having August. Great, there we go. Wolf Erickson, then Rick Eagleson.
Hello, everyone. Thanks for having me. My name is Wolf Erickson. I'm a queer local resident and I'm here for community. Community is how, that's our lifeblood as queer people. It's how we hold on to each other. Pride is an opportunity to visibilize that community, to say, you are welcome here. I'm also here on behalf of Amy Cooper, who was not able to attend, so I'll read her statement, which I agree with. My name is Amy Cooper. I'm a resident and business owner in the city of Shelton. I'd like to address the refusal of the city council to conduct a Pride proclamation. It is so important to make sure all members of our community feel safe, seen, and accepted. Refusing to conduct a Pride proclamation undermines all of this. As an organizer of several large events in our city, Forest Festival, Halloween Spooktacular, Shelton Art Walk being a few, I'd like to share that while all of these free community events are positive, fun, and needed for both local engagement and tourism, Shelton Art Walk is one event year after year where we receive comments like, "Thank you for creating an event where I feel safe." Most of these comments come from members of the LGBTQ+ community who are craving the validation of knowing they have made the right decision in where they have chosen to live, who want to align with members of their community to feel welcome. We all saw the Como News story recently that Mason County is one of the 10 fastest growing micro areas in our country. With this good news comes a more diverse population of people moving to our region. I believe our city and county officials need to do more outward, visual, and spoken acceptance. Thank you to the council members who supported this matter,
All right.
and I hope the rest of you reconsider this important proclamation.
Thank
for
you.
your time.
Appreciate it.
Then Chairman Donaldson.
I am here to question why the proclamation was turned down for the LGBTQ people. In my 11 years here, I have seen discrimination and bigotry in this town. And turning down the proclamation just because you don't like what these people stand for is just the meaning of bigotry. So let me give you the definition. Bigotry is a stubborn, abstinent attachment to one's beliefs and opinions, coupled with an extreme, irrational intolerance towards those who hold different views, backgrounds, or ways of life. When you people on the council who want to come, when you people on the council want people to come into your shops and buy your products, you sit up here and show that you only want certain kinds of people in our town, then you will be the ones who lose. People will get angry. They won't spend the money in your shops. They won't do what it takes. They'll do whatever it takes to get you out of office because you show discrimination and bigotry towards those certain people who live in this town. This is not what Shelton is supposed to be like. I have seen discrimination and bigotry, and frankly, it makes me sick. Yes, we don't understand why people do what they do or why they are what they are. But maybe if you sit down and have a conversation with people, try to understand where they're coming from, then maybe there won't be so much judging of each other. The people who lose are not the people who denied the proclamation to you, but the people who own businesses in this town. A business grows by word of mouth, and a business can crumble by word of mouth also, because people won't shop in your stores or places of business. And most of all, people want you in office. Our town has become a sewer pit of people with so much hatred towards others that personally you can't even see the destruction in its wake. Thank you.
Then Leyland Scaff, Say that again. Landscape possibly is on that. Sharon, sorry, Sharon.
Good evening, my name is Sharon Donaldson, I live in Shelton. I support the city council making a pride proclamation and acknowledging that pride is celebrated in the month of June. I support the council recognizing that our shared community values are supporting legal equality and fair treatment for all people, and ensuring acts of discrimination will not be tolerated. I support our council in celebrating our dynamic LGBTQ+ community while fostering a dialogue to promote healthy, safe, and prosperous school climates and communities for all. I encourage the council to acknowledge that the LGBTQ+ community continues to be a target of violence, harassment, and discrimination by many, including members of this community. By choosing to support and stand by our marginalized brothers and sisters, those who make hate speech in our community would know it's not tolerated. I support the council in supporting our shared community values to eliminate discriminating policies towards any culture, race, or group. We should be standing up and beside our marginalized friends, not marginalizing them further. To this day, the LGBTQ+ community faces systemic inequities across this country. There are many different ways to unite a community, but liberty and justice for all is a good start. We should be standing up and supporting people until that is a reality. The act of empathy drives away division. Bringing people together and leading with compassion fosters sustainable success. I encourage you to support the Pride Proclamation and send a clear message that we stand united against oppression and hate.
Good evening, thank you for listening to me. I'm Leila Landscape. I have lived here in Washington for a few years now. I'm speaking in support of the decision to abstain from signing the Pride Proclamation, the city of Shelton. I believe the job of the city council isn't to affirm people groups within the city. The city council's job is governing, reviewing its laws and budgets and agencies. The city of Shelton should not be asked to endorse or give praise to any one person's sexual lifestyle over any others. Furthermore, sexual lifestyle should not be made into this big spectacle to put on display or celebrated or applauded over. These displays belong in the sanctity of our individual houses and homes. Finally, sign this proclamation is not a safety issue for our community. Our Washington state laws already protect individuals from discrimination based on sexual preferences and their identity. You can see them in RCW 4960, RCW 9A 36080. I respectfully request that all city council members keep their focus on their jobs. I repeat that this job is not to affirm people. Please remember the city council's job is running this amazing city of Shelton, and thank you for your time.
Shen Heaton, and then on deck is Jason Sapp.
We can. Jason, you wanna jump up while somebody else
Who's
is
not?
down there?
Yeah.
Yeah. Keep things moving.
Okay.
Mayor, Deputy Mayor, council members, my name is Jason Sapp, PCO for the Mason County Republican Party Downtown Precinct. Just like to read some of what the Bible says about pride. Thus saith the Lord, Psalms 10:2, the wicked in his pride doth persecute the poor, let them be taken the devices that they have imagined. Psalm 10:4, the wicked through the pride of his countenance will not seek after God. God is not in all of his thoughts. Psalms 59:12, for the sin of their mouth and the words of their lips, let them be taken in their pride for cursing and lying which they speak. Psalms 73:6, therefore pride compasseth them about as a chain, violence covereth them as a garment. Proverbs 8:13, the fear of the Lord is to hate evil, pride and arrogancy and the evil way and the froward mouth do I hate. Proverbs 11:2, when pride cometh, then cometh shame, but with the lowly is wisdom. Proverbs 13:10, only by pride cometh contention, but with the well-advised is wisdom. Proverbs 14:3, in the mouth of the foolish is a rod of pride, but the lips of the wise shall preserve them. Proverbs 16:18, pride goeth before destruction, and a haughty spirit before a fall. Proverbs 29:23, a man's pride shall bring him low, but honor shall uphold the humble in spirit. 1 John 2:16, for all that is in the world, the lust of the flesh, the lust of the eyes, and the pride of life is not of the Father, but is of the world. Mark 7:21. Thank you.
Thank you.
Jane Heaton.
Okay.
Jane Heaton and Katrina Marsh.
Are you? Hi, my name is Katrina Marsh. I am a resident of the city of Shelton. I've lived here for all years of my life. I just wanted to come here today, not necessarily to ask this council to approve the pride proclamation. I already made your mind up on that. But as a member of this community, I came here to personally proclaim that the LGBTQ community is safe and welcomed in my community, in our community. I also want to say that it's sad at this point that we have to come here today to tell half of our city council that inclusivity isn't divisive. I believe you all have a job to do,
And part of that job does include public safety, which this proclamation has everything to do with, in case that was lost on you. But you also have other important things to do on the city council, and I'm sure it's a thankless job 99% of the time. But you signed up for it, and right now we're sitting here arguing about how divisive it might be to say that a large part of our community should feel safe in our town, instead of doing the very important job that you put in charge of. You've chosen to communicate to outsiders that maybe our town isn't as safe or progressive as we'd like it to be, so it's fine if you move here and you're trans. But don't expect to have any representation, and don't expect for some of your community members to accept you. In fact, maybe don't come here at all. A proclamation is just a piece of paper, but your decision on what to do with it has given it power to be divisive and do exactly what you claim you'd like to prevent in this community. I'm sure that some of you on the council have seen discourse on social media where people are planning to boycott your businesses. And maybe you do in fact have the support that you perceived. And maybe therefore none of that will affect your bottom line and your livelihood. And I honestly hope that's true for your sake, but I also hope that it will open your eyes to see the vision that is created and how ineffective leadership created just that. At the end of the day, we all share this community and the beautiful people within it. And this debate you've invited has done nothing more at this juncture than to mar the values that we do in fact share. And that's something you can't blame on the LGBT community for standing up and reaffirming that they have a place here. That sentiment is not a debate. Thank you for your transparency and telling us who you represent, because it's not us.
Appreciate. I'm Kaya. Oh, you're, okay, Kaya Collin, then Kathy Shapiro. Already.
Hi, I'm Kaya Colin. I'm a resident of Shelton. I've been here for 10 years. I'm a community member, a queer parent, a business owner, and a therapist with over 15 years experience working with LGBTQ+ people. I'm here tonight because I'm asking Miguel to call for a revote. I want to speak directly with Mayor Sherman, Deputy Mayor Sapp, and Councilmember Blush. This past week, Juniper Blessing, a 19-year-old transgender woman and University of Washington student, was stabbed to death in Seattle more than 40 times. She was 19 years old. That happened in our state days ago. This is not abstract. This is the world that trans and queer people are navigating right now. So when Councilmember Blush says that people aren't being treated differently while trans people are being killed, this isn't just wrong, it is dangerous. The suggestion that Pride Proclamation segregates the community is a false equivalency that doesn't hold up. Equal protection under the law is not divisive. What is divisive is to telling an entire group of your constituents that their safety doesn't warrant acknowledgement. As a therapist, I need you to understand what your vote communicates to queer young people in this community. LGBTQ+ youth are more than 4 times likely to attempt suicide. That number climbs when their leaders signal they are unwelcome. That is not symbolic harm, that is measurable one. Councilmember Blush, I want to acknowledge that your work providing pet food to the community members in need is genuinely good. Our community benefits from it, but you cannot show up for our dogs and not for our queer neighbors. The message that sends, whether you intend it or not, is that animals in this community are more worthy of your public support than of your queer people are. That's painful to sit with, I hope you will. Reversing 4 years of support sends one message. You don't matter as much as those who want you gone do. To the 3 who voted against us, Shelton is watching, we're here, we're queer. When your seats come up for re-election, we will be there.
Shapiro is Kathy Shapiro, that's Carol's Collin.
You're out in the middle game.
Hi, everybody. My name is Kathy Shapiro, and I'm your neighbor. I'm a therapist. I actually just lost all my notes, so I'm speaking off the cuff today. I am a therapist and I work with LGBTQ people across Washington state. And I talk to queer and trans people all day long about showing up in this world and being our best selves. And I want to speak to the importance of a Pride Proclamation for the city of Shelton.
representation and visibility is really important. It's not an abstract issue. It is very meaningful to people, especially young queer and trans people, to know that they are safe and they are accepted. I'm very fortunate to be here with the support of my mother-in-law, my mom, my brother. They're helping us with our 2 kids who are out there. And not everyone has that kind of family support. And so we look to our outside support, our community for acceptance and validation, and that really impacts our mental health. I want to say thank you to Councilmember Eric Nisco, Councilmember Tom Gilmore, and Councilmember Miguel Gutierrez for voting in favor of our Pride Proclamation. It is something that you all have voted in favor of in previous years, and it was something I was really looking forward to have for this coming Pride season, and I hope that you all will vote in favor of Pride Proclamation.
Yes. Carol Conley and Julie Rager.
My name is Carol Folin. Shelton is my home, and I'm here tonight because 3 members of the council made a big, huge mistake by denying our community a Pride Month celebration. The language this council used to describe LGBTQ+ people and events is hurtful and offensive. Words matter. It's your words without knowledge that fan the flames of ignorance, intolerance, and hate. These words, especially for LGBTQ youth and young adults, snuff out the beauty of life with low self-worth, self-harm, and suicide. Your words and actions perpetuate violence and hate towards our queer community. This does not make Shelton safe or beautiful. It is actually very ugly. Our community is watching. We hear you and we will remember. Pride celebrations are not divisive. They are inclusive. They are an opportunity for every resident, regardless of background, to come together and affirm that Shelton values all of its people. Businesses, schools, and families participate across this country because visibility and acceptance make communities stronger, not weaker. I'm asking Sharon Sherman, Lindsay Sapp, George Blush, and I don't know how Melissa's going to vote, who voted against the celebrating Pride in June, this question. Will you continue to support hate, prejudice, and bigotry? Or will you soften your hearts and choose to vote for love, inclusion, and compassion? Council members Miguel Gutierrez and Tom Gilmore and Eric Inesco, thank you from the yes votes. Your integrity supports diversity, peace, and love in Shelton, and I am grateful. I ask for a revote. To anyone in this room who's listening or watching at home who finds this distasteful, you have every right to your opinion. But if you don't like what you're seeing, look away. Just look away. That bad taste you have does not give you the right to impose your restrictions or limitations on people who are simply trying to live their lives with dignity.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Julie Rager and Thomas Sandy Seaman. Julie Rager.
Hello, my name is Julie Rager. I lived in Shelton for 12 years, raising my children. I found out about this meeting and wanted to go on record as supporting the mayor's courageous decision to propose a Pride Proclamation. First, I will preface my words by saying that I am not against people, but against ideology of beauty. I know and hear about people here, my belief may oppose me, but God calls me to speak the truth in love. I have taken the stand because while we live in a fallen, imperfect world, there is a perfect standard that exists for all of humanity. That is God's standard, His word. He created us in His image, and we have great value to Him. It is by His standard we are called to live. God tells us in Genesis that He created us male and female. And a man is to leave his father and mother, and cleave to his wife, and the two shall become one flesh. God's foundation for culture, therefore, is marriage between a man and one woman. Anything outside of that relationship is considered sexual immorality, which God condemns. Further, those who practice immorality will not inherit the kingdom of God that is heaven. And this grieves my heart, because I want everyone to be able to hear. Therefore, I ask that that the proclamation will be recorded. Thank you.
Okay.
Sean and Sandy Seaman, then Debbie Crumples.
Good evening, I'm Sandy, and this is my husband, Sean. We are voters and taxpayers in Mason County, and we choose where to spend our money in Shelton. We are allies. We're going to advocate for the Pride Proclamation, which I believe is aligned with Christian principles of love. It is important that we openly affirm and welcome the LGBTQ plus community, because unfortunately, they are not always safe. Please understand what the message you send with your vote and what it means to this community and the constituents.
The only thing that I feel what I have here is that, so I'm also, my name's Chelsea, and I'm a part of Shell, have been in this community for some time now, and I mean, the reality is that these rights have already been codified in law, so that's not what this is. This act, this proclamation is essentially a handshake. And I, for one, want to be a part of a community that's willing to walk alongside its community members. This action means a lot to many of our community members, and as such, I want to be able to walk alongside, to work alongside, and shake the hand of people that we live with. And that's really what this is. It's a gesture to that end, I'd like to thank Miguel for bringing it forward. All the people who support him, spoken with support, and leave them today.
Debbie Crumples, then Jackie Jewett. Good evening, Mayor Sherman and City Council members. My name is Debbie Crumples, and I'm a resident of Mason County. I'm speaking to you this evening not from a place of blame or judgment, but from my heart. And I'm here because I believe that we all share a common goal, and that is to make this community a place where everyone feels that they truly belong. So when a request for a proclamation of inclusion is repeatedly turned away, it doesn't just feel like no on a piece of paper. It feels like a rejection of people's very identities. I don't believe that it is your intent to hurt anyone. I suspect that instead your decisions might come from a place of fear, perhaps a fear of what others might think or say about your vote. But I'd also like to ask each of you to take a moment and think back to a time in your own life when you felt the sharp pain of rejection, because we all have. But we all know that that does nothing but hurt. To feel unseen or to be told even silently that we don't quite fit in. And then imagine, this is the most important one near and dear to my heart, is being one of your own dedicated City of Shelton employees. Who was born and raised here, who serves this beautiful community with nothing but love and loyalty. And to feel that their own leaders don't fully acknowledge who they are. But each of you, as leaders of this community, if you're represented, you're elected to represent this community, you have a unique opportunity to turn that rejection into acceptance. I feel confident that as our community leaders, you do understand that leadership is about having courage to do what's right at the moment, even when it's difficult. So I did listen to your study session from May 12th, and it is important to remember that the vote for the proclamation of inclusion was a tie.
Thank you.
Jackie Jewett, then Dean Jewett.
Hi, good evening. My name is Jackie Jewett. I'm a member of Shelton. So I'm here to, thank the city council members who decided that, we're not going to do a proclamation this year. And because When we propose a pride proclamation, municipalities should be extremely cautious about endorsing proclamations that elevate one social or ideological group above others. City government selectively recognizes one cause. When government selectively recognizes one cause, one identity, or one movement, it can create unnecessary division and the perception of favoritism. The role of city government should be public safety, infrastructure, economic development, and maintaining a clean, functional, and welcoming community for everyone. Many residents feel that symbolic political proclamations distract from the real issues impacting daily life. Rising crime concerns, homelessness, struggling businesses, deteriorating public spaces, and public trust in leadership. This community does not need more division. It needs unity, accountability, and leadership focused on the basics that affect every single citizen. I encourage this council tonight to focus less on symbolism and more on restoring safety, order, confidence in our city. Enforce the laws already in place, support law enforcement, protect businesses and residents, and ensure that city government remains neutral, fair, and focused on the needs of the entire community. And I would also like to add that my best friend in my life, who died in a car accident several years ago, was a gay man. My best friend was a gay man. I have gay friends. We all have gay friends. There's nothing wrong with that. They're people.
Jewett, then Corey Adams.
Dean Jewett, lifelong Mason County member, Shelton City Council. Tonight, I want to recognize the individuals in this council who had the courage to stand up and say to the city of Shelton that they will not issue a pride proclamation this year. Whether people agree with that decision or not, it took strength to speak publicly in today's climate. Too many people are intimidated and silenced out of fear, backlash, ridicule, or being labeled something that they are not. Just like I hear catcalling going on in behind me. What has been disappointing is watching the reaction from some individuals on city council, i.e. Miguel Gutierrez, who claim to support inclusion and tolerance, yet immediately resorted to division, name calling, hostility, and public temper tantrums because he didn't get his way. That behavior should embarrass every person that participated in it. A mature and united community does not bully people into an agreement. It does not shame residents for having a different viewpoint. It doesn't threaten their businesses. Government should represent everyone equally, not elevate one group above another. When government begins picking and choosing what causes deserve official recognition and which ones do not, it creates unnecessary division in the community. Shelton belongs to every citizen equally, regardless of lifestyle, beliefs, religion, or political position. We should focus on improving our community as a whole instead of constantly separating people into categories and special interests. So we'll take this other 15 seconds and just kind of sit here in silence and just think of some of those people that are name called.
We've got more people.
Thank you. Thank you. Corey Adams, then Michaela Porter.
Hello, good evening, everybody. I came here today because I watched the last council meeting on the internet, and I thought all week what I would say to everybody here in the room. And what I came up with is I want to say thank you to our city law enforcement for all their hard work. And we've got a couple new city cops that are really working hard. I see them out there all week working. I also want to say that I'm from Shelton. I've been a lifetime resident. And Miguel, you will never create a divide here. We will all always be connected together. People like you will come and go into this community, but there will never be division in Shelton. Want to know why? This place is special. Ask anyone that's lived here for a while that does go to the local businesses and it meets the people of our community. We're all the people of the community. We're all connected together. There'll never be a division. There's never, we're all liberal, we're all Republican, we're all in this together, okay? You will not stop what's gonna happen. We're all gonna be together, okay? I hope you understand that. I came here today because of the way you spoke to our mayor last week. This is a government setting. You can't flash out. I'm sorry if you feel a certain way and you don't like the way other people feel. Everyone here has equal rights. We're all in this together. Every person in the room. Whether I agree with you or I don't agree with you, we are connected. And you'll never stop that. You'll never make a division. We're all gonna be together forever. That's it. That's all I have to say. I really do, I love all you guys. We're all in it together. This is our community. Whether you agree with what's happening, whether you want this, no more proclamations. Help the police officers, help the fire stations. If you want to go to Brewer Park and bring people home, bring them home. Quit taking our tax dollars, quit upping our taxes. They're all just working, man.
Michaela Porter, then Barbara Visa.
Hello, my name is Michaela. I am a City of Shelton resident. I grew up in Shelton and I am a Shelton High School alumni. I moved away for college, moved around a little bit, and ultimately decided to move back to Shelton. I was originally reluctant, but I have family here. I love Shelton. I love Mason County. And I want to be a part of the community. And I know that Shelton community is just getting better. I believe in Shelton and I want Shelton to be better, as I'm sure you guys do too. I am deeply disgusted by the comments made at last week's meeting by Councilmember Blush, Mayor Sharman, and Councilmember Sapp. Thank you. In regards to the Pride proclamation, of course. I am disgusted that you are spreading hate in the name of helping the community. I love and believe in Shelton. I bought a house here because I wanted to be a part of this community. And to have the city council be making comments about this and promoting hate is uncalled for. Why are you guys afraid of inclusivity? We are trying to attract growth, new families, and economic growth. We're trying to increase support. And making hateful comments at city council meetings is not how we do that. I hope that you listen to everyone saying we want Shelton to be better, and we hope that you understand that comes from inclusivity. Do better and listen to what we're saying at these meetings. Leave your hate at the door and make decisions that actually support our community. It costs nothing to be kind. Thank you, Councilmember Gutierrez, Gilmore, and Onesco for your comments and supporting the Pride Proclamation and supporting Shelton in general. I truly appreciate you guys all for listening. Thank you.
Thank you.
Barbara Visa, then Latin Killen Prince.
Sorry, go. I just asked a question. I'm sorry.
If Latin Killen Prince is here, we can skip. Barbara Visa or Latin Killen Prince, please.
Barb's coming. That's, I know that's right. Yeah, I think that's the purpose. Yes.
Good evening, council members.
Thank you for the opportunity to speak tonight. My name is Barbara Wiesa, the Reverend Barbara Wiesa. I am the Archdeacon of the Episcopal Diocese of Olympia and Western Washington. As an Episcopal Archdeacon, and simply as a person who cares deeply about this, I am here tonight to speak in support of a Shelton Pride proclamation. And I am really saddened that recognizing the dignity and humanity of our LGBTQ neighbors is still treated as a controversy by some of our members here. To me, diversity, inclusion, and equity are not political trends. They are deeply connected to the values of the gospel and the way of Jesus. The LGBTQ community includes people I love deeply. Friends, family, parishioners, neighbors, people I have prayed with, cried with on the streets, buried, baptized, and walked alongside as an archdeacon. Many continue to experience discrimination, rejection, fear, and persecution simply for being who they are today. I believe Shelton is stronger when we choose compassion over fear and welcome over division. Our differences are not weaknesses to tolerate. They are gifts that strengthen this community, our community. Diversity is part of what matters, that makes Shelton a good and beautiful place to live.
Thank you.
I implore you to support this resolution.
Then Aaron Roberts.
Mayor, council, name is Lakeman Killen-France. I'm chairman of the 35th Legislative District Democrat organization that has co-sponsored this proclamation tonight. I have spent a decent amount of time thinking about what I was going to say. The question that kept popping up in my head is, what is a city council if not our community's leaders? And what are leaders if not those who set the standard? And though, yes, the primary function of the city council is to see after the affairs of our infrastructure and our police, it is also to set the standard as individuals for how we are to conduct ourselves within our communities. And in rejecting this proclamation, this shows that same favoritism that has been mentioned multiple times tonight through silence in the opposite direction. Oftentimes I have heard tonight that these values that are promoted by this proclamation are wrong due to the fact that they are unchristian and immoral. But we have something called the separation of church and state. Thomas Jefferson said Christianity neither is nor ever was part of the common law. John Adams stated that the United States is not a Christian nation any more than it is a Jewish or Islamic nation.
Thank you.
Aaron Roberts, then Mike Katz.
Aaron Roberts. Aaron.
Hi, my name is Aaron Roberts, looking from Crest area. This is my very first council meeting ever. And I wish it was on better terms, I really do. Mayor Sherman and the council members blush and snap. How dare you use your positions of power to spread hate for the state? How dare you? Be on the right side of history this time, please. Time and time again, we've seen people like you, I guess, just tear the state apart. Voting no on the Pride Proclamation clearly shows that you're moving Shelton in the wrong direction and will be considered in the next vote and the next election. I hope that you, Councilmember Stern, make the right decision voting for the Pride Proclamation and for a better Shelton. And for the remaining council members, thank you for voting yes in last week's meeting. Thank you.
Thank you.
My name's Mike Cass. I'm the pastor of Hood Canal Community Church. I'd like to use my 2 minutes to pray for all of us. Father, my heart is truly broken and I ask forgiveness for myself and for every single one of us, because all of us have bombed out. We've all, like Adam, blown it, we've sinned. Whether we're Democrat, Republican, liberal, conservative, whether we're gay or straight, Lord, we have all sinned against you, Lord, and I'm so sorry that we've done that. But I'm so thankful, God, that you have granted us the precious gift of everlasting life through your Son, Jesus Christ. That if any of us come to you in confession of the sins that we've committed and beg you, Lord, to forgive us, your promise is to cleanse us and to wipe us clean as snow. Father, I wish that all of us could be unified. I wish that we could all have the same heart that you have, Lord God. But until the day of Jesus comes again, I know that sin is going to continue to permeate this world. And Lord, I'm just asking that you would have mercy on every single one of us. God, I lift up these council members. I thank you, Lord, for the difficult decisions that they have to make. And even when they disagree, Lord, I pray that they can be unified even in that disagreement. I thank you, Lord, and it's in the name of Jesus Christ, my Savior, that I pray. Amen.
Andy Paradise, then Laura Best. Hi, Andy Paradise. Thank you for having me today. Thank you for all of your service. I know that this is a tough job. You know, I'm here because I saw the study session vote on the proclamation for Pride. And I just have to say, I felt so many different emotions. And I think that's kind of what's happening here today. There's emotions everywhere. There's emotions about feeling angry and isolated, defensive, unwanted, not heard. There's a lot happening. And that's a commonality that I think we're missing. I'm here to request that this council do a revote after being able to listen to the rest of the community. Something that occurs to me is I don't understand why our community wouldn't jump at the chance to promote something celebratory. I think we can join in celebration and host celebrations even when it's not for us. Like, I go to other people's birthday parties because I care about them. I do not belong to the LGBTQ community. Not my thing. Guess what? Big ally. You know why? Because I love them. I love my neighbors. I've been cared for and loved on by them. And I want the best for them. I don't have to like everybody, but I do respect them. And that's something I hope that our community can come around to. I wonder if some of us have really small circles. And maybe they seem big because of the same 200 people week in and week out. But maybe today we were able to see that the circle of Shelton is very wide. And sometimes it's lots of colors, and sometimes it's wavy, and sometimes it's sparkly. And there's room for everybody when you do a Pride celebration, right? Everybody is included there. For those of you who have expressed your concern about feeling outed, I will say that there's a difference between aggression and violence. If you feel like somebody's making fun of you, that is your comfort and beliefs. But other people's comfort to simply exist might matter more. Thank you.
Thanks, you.
Laura Best, then Wayne Vicky.
Good evening, I'm Laura Best. And my heart truly breaks for members of the LGBTQ community. I was a childhood sex abuse victim, children and adults. And at one point when I was about 8, I really wanted, I don't know if anybody remembers the Monkees, but I wanted to be Michael Nesmith. I wanted to be a boy because I perceived that living life as a boy would be a heck of a lot easier than living life as a girl that's getting molested. I also consider living life as a lesbian later in my 20s. By the grace of God, I didn't. I truly understand because I've studied psychology. I worked as a forensic therapist with sexually violent predators. I had sex offenders on my caseload for the 10 years I worked with the state. So I do understand that people who live lives as homosexuals are acting out and compensating for past childhood trauma that I experienced. Sexual and relational, for men, they get enmeshed with mommy, typically they're troubled or distant or non-existent relationships with fathers and combined with sex abuse from older boys. For lesbians, it's mommy issues and identifying themselves with dad or father figures. Seeing women as weak, I came close to that. Sex abuse by boys and men and hatred of themselves and desiring that control and domination. So I understand. Homosexuality of any kind cannot be healthy for society because it's rooted in unhealthy relationships. Everything stemming from the same-sex relationships produces more trauma, compulsive, impulsive behaviors, multiple partners, etc. And this is why God said homosexuality is an abomination for humans. Father God knows best. Thank you.
Thank you.
Dwayne, Hickey, Ben. Hicks, sorry.
No problem.
Stella Spracklen Lurk.
Good evening. My name is Dwayne Hicks. I've been in Shelton for 5 years. I'm a lifelong Republican. I started voting for Ron F. Tonight, I'm ashamed. I am ashamed because I see a group of people who are using their personal preferences, their personal religious preferences to withhold rights from other members of their community. And I'm ashamed of it. Even President Reagan said that you have to govern from the middle. You have to respect everybody within your district and give them equal time. Now, I wasn't going to speak tonight. I was here to represent a friend, but that is how upset I've gotten about this. When I hear that you have approved the same situations and the same certifications for other groups, but you won't do it for this group, you're not governing. You're using your own religious preferences for the state. I'm ashamed of you. And as a Republican, I'm going to have to really think about who I throw my support with next time. Thank you very much.
Stella Spracklen Lurk, then Rachel Corkin.
It's Stella Spracklen Link. Thank you. Hello, thank you for having me, Council, Mayor Sharon. Do you take a look at me? That'd be helpful. Thank you. So I'm Stella and I've been a Shelton resident and I'm a taxpayer, a property taxpayer since 2020. And so I wanted to give you, Mayor Sharon, the definition of divisiveness, which what we see here today is unity. I'm actually doing what I'd like to do in my public comment, thank you. Anyway, so divisiveness by the definition is creating disunity or dissension or something that causes a degree of disagreement or conflict. Choosing not to proclaim the LGBTQ plus community in Mason County is divisive. So I will have you know, before I go, there is a very important fact that you should know. 82% of families in the US do not meet the requirements of a nuclear family. 82% of families are not mom, dad, and kids. The trend sociologically is that families are moving away from the nuclear structure, and it is divisive and exclusive to not consider these citizens when choosing your proclamations. 5 to 10, a few minority extremists will not show you who Mason County is. We are Mason County, and we are coming in strong, And I would like for you, Miguel, to please request a revote and revote today. Thank you.
Horton, then Dawn Winslow.
I've been in Shelton for about 11 years and I love it here. A few years back, my wife and I bought a house in town and I was thinking about trying to get a block party together for our neighborhood to help build community and connection. My wife pointed out they weren't sure how safe it would be for everyone to know which house was ours. I countered that maybe if potentially equal neighbors met and interacted with a couple lesbians, then maybe it would humanize us for them and they'd be less equal. This is not the kind of conversation a couple has when they have no fear of discrimination. We never did organize that block party. Still, Shelton has surprised me in so many positive ways over the years. But when I heard about the proclamation to acknowledge the LGBTQ community as safe and welcome failing to pass, it reminded me of something else I noticed in the city recently. There's a bar in town, I won't name them because I don't want to drag them. But for the longest time, they had a pride flag tacked up on the ceiling. I remember feeling a bit unsure of the vibes there until I noticed that flag and pointed it out to my wife. It felt like a sign that if we were to be harassed, someone noticed we were together, the bar and maybe even the other patrons would have our back. Recently, I went back there and noticed a blank spot on the ceiling where the pride flag had been. It seems like such a small thing, but it made me wonder. Did enough people complain about it being there that they had to see it, and should they glance that way? Did someone out for a drink rip it down? Does this mean I'm not as safe there now as I felt I was before? My point is, when there is visible support for you that you can look to in times of uncertainty, it means something. When there is a routine vote held by the elected leaders of my city, and some of them vote against a proclamation that would say that I am welcome as a neighbor and safe as a community member, that means something. It sends a message that maybe things are shifting the wrong way, and I have one less reason to feel safe. You can say with your words that you accept the LGBT community all you want, but those words feel like a swift backhand if you won't stand behind them with your vote.
Thank you.
Then Mark Sartori. Dawn Winslow.
Good evening. My name is Don Winslow, and I lived in and around the Shelton area for the past 32 years. I currently live in the county, but I live in the city. I'm here tonight to ask the council to reconsider the recent request from a number of community members and community organizations for the city of Shelton to issue a Pride Month declaration in support of LGBTQ+ neighbors. It's been said that members of the LGBTQ+ community choose to live a certain lifestyle. This is a misconception. I happen to be a cisgender straight man. I've been married to my wife for 32 years, but I do not choose to be straight. It's not my lifestyle, it's simply who I am. The same holds true for our LGBTQ+ neighbors. It's not a lifestyle, it's simply who they are. It's also been said that a Pride declaration would be divisive for the community. I would contend that the declaration would actually benefit the community. For example, I know that a number of LGBTQ+ people who live in the community will only spend their money in places where they feel welcome. For that reason, it's not uncommon for many of them to drive to Olympia or beyond to spend their money. Keeping local dollars local not only boosts the bottom line of our businesses, but also adds to our local tax base. I believe it's worth noting that the LGBTQ+ community is not asking for special treatment. An official Pride Month declaration simply rolls out the welcome mat for a group of folks who have for generations faced a disproportionate level of discrimination and hatred simply for being themselves. This is an opportunity to take one small step toward healing old wounds. I ask you please reconsider your decision. Thank you.
Mark Sartori, then Marielle Smith.
My name is Mark Sartori. Thank you for giving us the opportunity to share some thoughts. I'm basically off the cuff. I'm pastor of Mountain View Alliance Church, and I'm hoping that our church is a place that's safe, that welcomes people, where they feel like they are embraced and loved and cared for. And I know that we have had some homosexuals that have come to our church on a regular basis. I have a pretty close transgender friend who lives in actually Centralia, who values my friendship, and even though we have different perspectives and different views on things, I knew her as a young woman, but he now respects me and values our friendship for what it is. And he knows that I care about him, he knows that I love him, and that I respect him and his views, and we have some good exchanges. But I don't judge him, there's a difference between having conviction and being judgmental and critical and just being hateful. I'm not that way, I'm not biased, I don't feel like, and I feel like I don't like to see one group targeted in either one way or the other. I think that there needs to be an openness and accept each other for what we are, and yet have conviction in the context of compassion. So I just encourage you to stand by your conviction.
Then Beatrix Kusanagi. Hello, I would like to specifically address one statement that I heard made during the study session last week. It was a statement that when I initially heard it, not only did it make me wince, but it made every inch of my skin crawl, it made me cry, it made me feel sick. But it very much reflected a reality that I've been living in since buying my home in Shelton in 2019. It was a statement made by George Bush, actually. He simply said, "We don't want it here." It was a statement that very clearly reflected how I feel here as a queer person: unwelcome, unwanted, and unsafe. In the 7 years of living here, I've had my home and my car vandalized. I've had hate crimes committed against me and my household, all while the police force stood by telling us to defend ourselves as we saw fit, calling it domestic disturbances and refusing to defend us. All because we are queer. My child was violently attacked at Evergreen Elementary just down the street by a child of an adult who had committed hate crimes against us, which led to her being hospitalized and needing 2 surgeries. So I beg for City Council to please reconsider. We need a pride proclamation now more than ever to make our queer community feel safe, seen, and heard and accepted in this community. At this point, I don't think any of us really do. And it's something that we need to change. That's all I have to say. Beatrix Kusanagi, then Christina Wellman.
Hi, my name is Beatrix Kusanagi, and I am a member of Ariel Smith's household. I can attest to what she just said. I am a combat veteran, disabled from the wars, and just want some peace here in Shelton, and I can't seem to find it. For 2 years, I dealt with harassment, threats of violence, even hate crimes from my neighbors and just people around town. When I asked the police what should be done, they looked at me and they said, "Well, you're a combat veteran, so defend yourself as you see fit." And that really stuck with me because it's like, I'm just home. I'm home. I don't want to fight the war anymore. I've done 2 tours. I saw Afghanistan. I saw Iraq. I want peace. I want to relax. I want to enjoy myself. Have barbecues with my friends. Can't do that. Can't do that. So, yeah. And then they doubled down on it when my mom was visiting in Shelton. It's the first time I'd seen my mom in 8 years. Stopped by, saw us partying in the yard. They asked us, they said, "Oh, you still having problems with your neighbor?" I said, "Yes, I am." He said, "Oh, well, just remember what I said. Defend yourself as you see fit. You're a combat veteran." To me, that feels like the officer was telling me that if I needed to employ a firearm to defend myself, that was okay. And to me, that's wrong. And I'm really tired of the people in this community poking the queer community, pulling back a nub and playing the victim. It's wrong. We just want to exist like everybody else. Pride proclamation, it's nothing. I think we deserve a pride parade. I think that we as a city would benefit economically from doing such. My thought.
Christina Wellman, then Maria Littleson.
Hello, I'm Christina Wellman, a health counselor, and also lesbian. And I'm here today because, first, I just want to say, Miguel, I think it really sucks that earlier tonight, somebody said to you, people like you. And I recognize that for what that was, that was veiled racism, that because of the color of your skin, you don't belong. And one thing that I've learned is that our West Coast, we tend to think, oh, all those damn liberals on the West Coast. California was the site of the largest public lynching of Asians, of Chinese railroad workers. And so then we say, oh, why are there so many white people here? I don't get it, right? And then we say, oh, well, gays don't really belong in Shelton. I grew up in a town about 3,000 people, down on the Columbia River. And the day I told my dad, hey dad, guess what? I'm choosing my girlfriend over this family, you know, and he said, okay, that's it, you're out. And I had the courage to do that because my aunt, who's a minister, told me, she said, you can know good theology because it's gonna bring you closer to God. And it'll bring you closer to people, and it'll bring you closer to law and to creation. And so today, I spent a lot, I guess, I know I only have 18 seconds left, and so I guess I would just say that, any of y'all who want to talk to a lesbian, I'm right here, and I'd be happy to listen to you, and to help you understand how I can be a person of faith.
Thank you.
And also be clear.
Yeah.
Mayor, I'd like to move that we take a 10-minute recess and extend our meeting an hour.
Yeah, I need a bathroom.
I'm sorry.
Yeah, thank you, thank you.
Motion is
So
second.
Motion is second.
just to explain to the crowd, we'll
Okay,
pick back up
right.
public comment.
We're just gonna take a 10-minute break so
Yeah,
we can
okay.
use the restroom and we will come right back.
Motion is second.
Motion and a second. All in favor, say aye. Aye. All right. I've got to drink.
I'm doing great. Except for when they said pretty aggressive. Like I'm not part of this community. Like, I'm not be downtown. So the way.
Is that at the very end or?
In person.
Okay.
Yeah, we just have one.
We have public comment online too. Okay.
So at 8:50, it's not over yet. Extend again.
Okay.
There was 7:50. Yeah.
All right, it looks like everybody's back anyways. Got a couple seconds to go, so. Oh, okay.
Oh, this is.
All right. Okay, back in second. Let's go ahead and get her done. Let's go. Yes.
All right, I just want to start by saying I raise my hand to all of you guys as leaders. I know leadership is difficult, but I want to particularly raise my hand to Tom, Miguel, and Eric for doing the brave thing, doing the hard thing in a hard moment. And I just want to ask that we consider a revote here tonight or to affirm and uphold the proclamation. And I just want to say my name is Maria Littleson. I'm a lifelong resident of Shelton, Washington. I came here tonight to share a personal story I've been thinking about since I've heard about the vote against the proclamation. My story is about how my husband and I decided to name our son Pride. My husband and I, we have been through a lot in our lives, and we had been trying hard to conceive our child, and we had been talking about what kind of world he might grow up in, or if he would grow up at all. Too many times that we had been taught to be ashamed of who we are, how we live, how we speak, how we look, and how we pray as Native people. Suicide rates had skyrocketed at that time for Native youth. We wanted a way to remind our child every time that he looked in the mirror to be proud of who he is and how he presents in all spaces. So we named him Pride, so he could never ever forget that no matter what people might say or decisions that leaders might make that hurt our tiny communities, that he should always carry himself with pride. Now my son got his name before we knew that he was nonverbal and autistic. He requires many special supports, and people in our community have walked up to me and said to my face that my child doesn't belong in the same classrooms as their children. It's hard to imagine, but a majority of folks could maybe come here one day and propose that we do away with the Day for Disabilities visibility. Because I believe in Pride's community and their right to be visible, supported, and celebrated, I believe that I must defend the same for others. Pride has taught me and my husband how to be better humans. Then I was told that his story would be good medicine for others in our community. And that's how he got his middle name, Blessings. And I just hope that he can be a blessing for our community and hope you guys can understand.
Thank you.
What that means for us as our family.
Thank you.
Thank you for letting me see. Thank you to the police for the good job they do in town. I know you're working hard. And actually, thank you to all the city council members, because I know it's a tough job you do. Tonight's audience proves that. We'll sit here taking all these arrows and sunflowers. Anyway, I think it's important you realize how you were elected by the people of Shelton. It was not to single out a certain group. You give them credibility or give them special treatment. Your job is to run this city, as this lady who was sitting over here so eloquently stated. Your job is to run the city, give us a safe city, give us a city that will prosper, and give us a city that will make people want to move here and build a life, raise families, open businesses, and those businesses will prosper. And don't lose track of that. Kudos to George, Sharon, Lindsay, sticking to your guns. I'm sure that in the oath you took to become city council members, there's something in there about what your duties are, and none of them include painting a special place for a group, whether it's LGBTQ or plumbers or electricians or anything like that. Just focus on your mission, taking care of the city. Thank you. You should leave it.
Susan Stokes. Hi. I have to give my name. I'm Susan Stokes. I'm a 30-year retired educator. And I'm here to talk about kids because I don't hear kids being mentioned in this. Maybe you don't know this, maybe you do. 39% of LGBTQ youth seriously consider attempting suicide at a given year. More than 1 in 10 actually try this. Transgender and non-binary youth rates are higher, at about 3%. The kids affected the most are children of color, with our native indigenous youth reporting the highest risk suicide attempts. We're in the middle of 2 reservations. So I want to talk about a safer Mason County. Because I see that on some political signs and states. When a community chooses not to celebrate Pride or removes visible support for the LGBTQIA community, children notice the silence. They're not stupid. Kids are not stupid. Give credit for that. For the LGBTQ youth, it can send a message that they are unwelcome, invisible, and something to be hidden. That causes feelings of anxiety, isolation, and depression. For other children, the absence of pride, celebration, reduces opportunities for empathy, inclusion, and respect for people who are different from them. Communities thrive when children grow up seeing diversity, acknowledged and valued. Without those affirming spaces and events, fear, misunderstanding, and bullying, which we know is super bad in the Shelton School District, is more likely to grow, creating a less safe and less compassionate environment for all children. We need to think about our children here and what message you're sending them. And it's not a very good message. And I'm done. Thank you.
Thank you.
Neela Alder. Neela Alder.
Hi, my name is, my name is Mila, and, I've, here for, years, I just wanted to say how it, it makes me very mad about the way people have treated other plus, and around how it's around us, everywhere, your books, people around you, kids shows, and I just wanted to point that out, and how it's very bad, the way people have treated these people, and once again, it's a high, unnecessarily high suicide rates. I wanted to make this short, so, yeah.
Thank you.
Mindy Allen.
Hello, ma'am, this is very short, but many of you in the panel know me, and I'm usually a calm person. But your hate killed my nephew.
Okay, thank you.
Andy Terry.
Hiya, my name is Isabel. I'm one of Shelton's newest residents of this one. I moved here from Tennessee. My pronouns are they, them. I am the mother of 2 transgender children. I'm here to be a face of queerness, because it sounds like some of you don't know a lot of queer people. The hate that my children face has been extreme. I sold my house, cashed in all of my retirement, ended up being homeless to get my kids out of the state of Tennessee. When they were there, my daughter, who is trans, at 20 years old, would ride a bike to and from work, because she doesn't drive a car, and there was very little public transportation. At least twice a month, some bigot and a huge lifting truck would drive her off road with their head out the window screaming, "Die, faggot, die!"
All right. Calm, please.
I cannot be calm. Children are dying because of hate. That's it. Children are dying because of hate in this state. How many times was that trans girl stabbed? 40. Do you know how much you have to hate a person to look them in the eye and stab them 40 times? Do you? Because I can feel the discomfort here. I am livid that I drove 2,000 miles to a sanctuary state to find out that we can't have pride. The first pride was a riot. If you do not let us have this parade, I assure you, I will pick up a brick.
We have a virtual public commenter, Carissa Walasek. Carissa?
Yes, I'm turning on my camera. Thank you. Okay, I am Carissa Walizek. I live and work in Shelton. First, I'd like to take this opportunity to thank the council members who voted in favor of the Pride Proclamation. Your vote told me that you care about one of the most vulnerable populations and representing all of Shelton. Next, I am disappointed and very disheartened in the council members who voted no on the proclamation. Your vote sends a message that you are okay with dividing the community by not including all of Shelton's people. And you truly don't understand the welcoming and diverse community that Shelton is. The purpose of the proclamation isn't to force anyone to take part in Pride. It isn't, Pride isn't about sexual preferences or a symbol. It's people, who people are. Your vote makes me wonder how far you're willing to go to exclude the LGBT plus community. And as a teacher, I'd like to encourage you to do your research. I mean, we've heard a lot of comments tonight from people in the community. Reach out more, get to know Shelton, get to know everything that Shelton, everyone who's represented in Shelton and those who aren't represented enough. And it's clear tonight who is not being represented enough. Representing Sheltonians equally harms the most vulnerable population. We need to focus on equity. Equity balances the inequalities. You, as the council members, have the responsibility to focus on equity. And a safe community means being clear on inclusivity. So, thank you for letting me speak.
Thank you.
That's all that we have today.
All right, thank you very much. Okay. That concludes the portion of tonight's meeting. Next up, we have first quarter finance report from Terry Schnitzer.
Thank you, Mayor, Deputy Mayor, council members. Tonight bringing the first quarter, the 2026 quarter report. As you can notice, this is the, we changed the name to the first quarter. So we're bringing you quarterly reports instead of the monthly reports. Those monthly reports will be included in the department reports for during each month until we get the quarterly reports. So as you can see, the variance in the favorable is favorable for 744,000 compared to what we had originally budgeted at so it's brought it down to 405,000 compared to what we had budgeted as 1.1 million. So this brings our unreserved fund balance to 4.7 million from original 3.9 million. So on page 2, and because we're still in the first quarter, the revenues are
they're right in line with what we originally projected. But again, it's still early in the year, and we'll bring back more numbers in the second quarter to see how well we're doing compared to what our expenditures are. On the bottom of that page, we have the graph of our general fund revenues showing where our sales and use taxes are number one at 22%. And closely in second is our charges for goods and services at 22%. And then our third highest revenue source is our property taxes at 18%. Page 3, this is our general fund overview for expenditures for general fund. And they're falling right in line. As you can see, the variance is not.
Maybe we can see it, hang on.
Oh,
Sorry. It's page for some reason.
oh, is it missing? Anyway, we can skip that part. Because it'll be
Down to fund
yeah, we can
balance.
go to the fund balance. Which is going all the way to page 3.
I didn't fix it.
Let me just go to the folder. Yeah, okay. So the general fund, we're on page 5, general fund quarter to quarter report. As you can see, the variance is at 151,000. And it's the revenues are time. They're like the property tax. This is for actually 2 months, and this is a timing everything for time. This is accumulation of the January and February taxes, just because we're receiving February taxes in March. March taxes are in April, so. But all the other taxes are pretty much in line with where we projected. And the same with the expenditures for general. I'm gonna, for the sake of time, we can go to the citywide FTE.
7, 8.
8. So the FTEs for the general fund, we have three vacancies. So we're getting positions filled. We still have a couple key positions, one in finance, one in community development, and then one in police. And then the 4 open positions within street, water, sewer, storm, and PM&R, which remain unchanged since the last report. And then on page 9 through 13 is just all of the citywide overview revenues and expenditures rolled up to the condensed for. There's any other question?
Nothing, all right.
Thank you, sir. All right, so moving on, we now have a proclamation for Public Works Week. Oh, I don't have it. My computer's down. Do you have it? Would you like to read it? Okay. Oh, cool, thank you. Okay. All right, National Public Works Week proclamation, May 17th to 2026, rooted in service powered by community. whereas the public works professionals focus on infrastructure, facilities, and services that are of vital importance to sustainable and resilient communities and to public health, high quality of life, and well-being of the people of the city of Shelton. And whereas these infrastructure, facilities, and services could not be provided without the dedicated efforts of public works professionals, who are engineers, managers, and employees at all levels of government and the private sector, who are responsible for rebuilding, improving, and protecting our nation's transportation, water supply, water treatment, and solid waste systems, public buildings, and other structures and facilities essentials for our citizens. And whereas it is in the public interest for the citizens, civic leaders, and the children in the city of Shelton to gain knowledge of and maintain an ongoing interest and understanding of the importance of public works and public works programs in their respective communities. And whereas in the year of 2026 marks the 66th annual National Public Works Week, sponsored by the American Public Works Association, be it now resolved, Mayor Sharon Sherman, do hereby designate the week of May 17th to 23 to the 23rd, 2026 as National Public Works Week. I urge all citizens to join with representatives of the American Public Works Association and government agencies in activities, events, and ceremonies designed to pay tribute to our public works professionals, engineers, managers, and employees, and to recognize the substantial contributions they make to protecting our national health, safety, and advancing the quality of life for all. Signed this 19th day of May, 2026 in Shelton, Washington. All right.
Just could I say thank you to our public works employees for their hard work, and if only we could do that for our LGBT plus community.
Right, so moving on to our business agenda, now we have Assistant Public Works Director Brent Armstrong presenting on the joint paving project with Mason County.
Good evening, Mayor, Deputy Mayor, council members. Bringing forward a joint paving operation with the city and the county. You've gone through this before multiple years that we've been doing this now. We have $150,000 threshold that we work within to meet some of the state requirements and limits on that. This year we are targeting Jefferson Street up on East Mountain View with connecting streets to Olympic Highway North, and we've targeted this area due to pavement rating of the roads there, and also it's going to make a nice tie into when we ultimately get the paving project on Olympic Highway North done next year. So with that, we had budgeted 100,000, and we're expecting some savings with some some other budget lines that we hope to recoup the whole 150, and we'll shore that up in a supplemental later next year. So yeah, this is great collaboration, kind of part of our council retreat goals, and it's the best use of our funds we get a lot more, and this is due to passing of the TBD funds that we did these paving projects done. So we use them for residential as much as we can. So with that, I'll open it up to any questions.
Right, can we get a reading of resolution number 1439-0426?
Resolution number 1439-0426. Resolution of the Council of the City of Shelton, Washington, authorizing the Public Works Department to utilize the existing interlocal agreement with Mason County and joint city-county forces to complete the 2026 East Mountain View paving.
All right, do we have a motion?
Mayor Sherman, I move to place resolution number 1439-0426 on the City Council June 2nd, 2026 action agenda for further consideration.
Second.
All right. We have a motion and a second to place resolution number 1439-0426 under the City Council's action agenda for the June 2nd action agenda for further consideration.
Comments or questions?
Does anybody have any comments or questions?
Thank you, and we appreciate the county's support in this. I mean, that kind of a budget would cost us $300,000-$400,000 to go outside and do. So we appreciate the county helping us with these projects the last several years and also your staff as well. Thank you.
Always looking forward to complementary projects in the city and the county that will help us share resources and money and get us on the roads and keep the business going.
All right, so we have a motion and a second to place resolution number 1439-0426 on the city council's action agenda for the June 2nd action agenda for further consideration. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
All opposed, motion carried. All right, moving on to the next business item will be from City Manager Mark Ziegler on the Mason County Humane Society contract for services.
Thank you, Mayor, Deputy Mayor, Council. As you know, we as a body have talked about animal control and shelter services for some time. Most recently, back in 2023, we really started talking about what kind of partnerships could be developed to provide that service within the city of Shelton outside of our existing staff. We have struggled, if you will, to provide animal control and animal shelter services. We haven't always been able to recruit an animal control officer. Shelter services seem to kind of ebb and flow, and not enough staff or shelter space to hire, enough full-time staff to keep people on board. It's often supplemented by part-time people that kind of come and go. Hard to keep training up to speed when you have people coming in and out of the door. Back in 2023, the city went to request for proposals seeking responses to provide those services. The city did not receive any responses at that time. We were able to hire an animal control officer in April of 2023. That position was filled through the end of 24 essentially, and it's remained vacant since then. So animal control has been therefore kind of a shared service amongst our police department and code enforcement when they're available and based on the priorities and responsibilities, the calls that are happening at that time. Shelter services then I've been supplemented through a full-time lead shelter tech and then part-time shelter staff. Back in May of 2025, the council held a retreat as part of the 2026 budget formulation process and discussed service level priorities. Amongst the lowest priorities of nearly 80 that the council considered within the general fund were animal control and animal shelter services. So with that, we've continued bringing options to the council to consider. That led us to a more robust discussion in December of 2025 about the state of animal control and animal shelter services and what the city wanted to do at that point. The council directed staff again to look for outside services and a contract agency that might be able to provide these services in a more economical and robust way. Luckily enough, Mason County Humane Society was at a point where they could provide a proposal for services and work with the city to refine that to the point we're at tonight, where we have a draft contract in front of council for consideration. So within the briefing, the responsibilities of Mason County Humane Society to provide a certified animal control officer, respond to calls 24/7, impound any stray, abandoned, nuisance animals, investigate complaints and enforce state laws, local laws as well as adopted by council, investigate any further complaints regarding animal welfare, serve as a responsible official for dangerous dog cases, maintain communications, equipment, coordinate with the Shelton Police Department when needed. There's a lot of synergy that goes with our police department, any animal control services. Pet licensing, Humane Society would maintain and manage pet licensing within the city of Shelton. Issue and track dog licenses along with that pet licensing, and maintain a fee schedule to promote responsible pet ownership as we do now throughout our communities. The shelter operations would include operating our animal shelter as it exists now on Pine Street, providing humane care, medical assessment, adoption and transfer services of animals, maintain safe and sanitary operations in line with veterinary standards, allow 24/7 law enforcement access for animal drop-offs in the case that there's something that happens after hours, perform required quarantines, euthanasia when legally and medically necessary. Unfortunately, those instances have happened. provide proper disposal of deceased domestic animals, any record keeping associated with these services, both in animal control and shelter operations. Maintain a complete log of these licenses, animals, adoptions, calls, fees for service, and training records for the staff that might be working in animal control and shelter services. Provide those records to the city as required. Maintaining the facility under a reasonable condition and operations appropriate to animal shelter services. And any utility equipment and site upkeep that's necessary for those operations at the same time. The city at that point would provide the shelter facility that we have located now. It needs some upgrades that we'd agreed to, compensating Humane Society, so it's more functional and meets current standards. The shelter was built a number of years ago and doesn't meet current safety standards. The Humane Society would have exclusive use of this shelter operations. It's not big enough to maintain an entire, meet the entire needs necessarily of sheltered animals, particularly dogs. So they have a robust system of fostering and other services that would help support that. And frankly, that's the best case scenario when you're talking about rehooming dogs and not keeping them in a small kennel in the shelters as they're constructed now. And the city would be responsible for the capital repairs, including the roofing, siding, any major systems. As you know, over the last year, we've replaced HVAC equipment in the roof at that shelter. It's in fairly good shape, at least structurally and on the exterior. This is proposed to be a 3-year agreement. There's a 180-day notice of termination or a 30-day notice for incurred breach of the contract. With the council's approval, moving this to the June 2nd meeting, we hope to have this in place on August 1st, so we could turn over operations to the Humane Society. The fiscal impact, I will remind you, in 2026, we budgeted just about $240,000 for animal control and shelter services. Our anticipated or our expenses last year in 2025 were almost $260,000. So one of those costs are veterinary services. So we spay or neuter dogs that come into our care. There's dogs that are injured, they're not being appropriately cared for. There's vaccinations and the gamut of those, and so we're paying that for services. Certainly there's an economy of scale within Humane Society's current services and having vets. We do partner with them now, and they provide a lot of that veterinary care service, which is really great for at a reduced cost from the commercial side of things, but it is still an expense, and it's expensive to the Humane Society to provide those services. So the proposed contract amount at inception of the contract is just over $202,000. Of that is $50,500 for the animal control service and shelter services, just over $151,000. Like I said, the initial facility alterations or repairs will be $4,804. Per the contract with the pet licensing program, Humane Society would collect the entire fees based on the city's fee schedule. 10% of those fees would be retained by the Humane Society for administrative costs. The rest of those fees would be credited back to the city on a monthly basis with the monthly billings. There are legal holds at times as it's appropriate for investigations and things like that. So we want to make sure we captured it. We ran into any substantial legal holds that the Humane Society wouldn't be saddled with those costs, and there'd be some the ability for the city to reimburse on legal holds. So it's anything over 8 animals at $25 a day, or we'd pay any outside services. If they had a contract with somebody else for a legal hold, it couldn't be placed into foster care, for example, had to be held in a kennel for safekeeping. We'd pay that third-party cost. So the Humane Society would not be incurring those costs. I know Catherine Johnson, the Executive Director of Mason County Humane Society, is here as well tonight, so I'm sure that Catherine would answer any questions about their operations if the council had that, and I'm certainly open to any further or any questions regarding this contract before you tonight.
Right. Can we get a reading of resolution number 1435-0426?
Resolution number 1435-0426, a resolution of the council of the city of Shelton, Washington, authorizing the city manager to sign an agreement between the city of Shelton and the Mason County Humane Society for the provision of animal control and shelter services.
All right, do we have a motion?
Mayor Sherman, I move to place resolution number 1435-0426 on the June 2nd, 2026 city council action agenda for further consideration.
Second. Does anyone have any questions or comments about this?
Just the impressive report and presentation that the Humane Society made a few months ago, I think twice to a study session and once to a regular session, a business session. It's going to decrease our costs for taking care of animals. It's going to increase the amount of volunteerism with their national leverage. And it's going to be a better situation for the animals as well, because they can do a better job of taking care of them. I fully endorse that we move forward with this and not only move it forward to the agenda, but pass it 2 weeks from now. Thank you.
I'm really excited for this one. It's a solution to a problem that we've had for a while, and it seems like, as Councilmember Gutierrez said, it's going to be better for the animals and better for the community. So really excited for this stuff.
Anyone else? All right, we have a motion and a second to place resolution number 1435-1426 under the June 2nd, 2026 city council action agenda for further consideration. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
All opposed? Motion carries. All right, moving on. Next, we have Parks and Rec Supervisor Jordan Crumples to present the artist picked for the rotating gallery.
Thank you, Mayor and Council. Got some art for you for the next rotation. We did a call to artists through city website and social media, and we did some online gallery outreach to promote with a deadline of May 1st. And we had a total of 4 artists who submitted proposals, all recurring, which is great to see. The Arts Commission met on May 5th to look at those. We have Carrie Ann Fennell with some acrylic work, Deborah Chavez Singer and Elizabeth Jacobson, with digital photography, and Joanne Dower with some foils. If approved tonight, they'll be installed on June 2nd through August 31st. Happy to answer any questions.
Awesome. Has anyone signed up for public comment?
No, we don't.
Okay, do we have a motion?
Mayor Sherman, I move to approve the Shelton Arts Commission's recommendations for placement of the Civic Center rotating art gallery.
Second.
Any council members have any questions or comments for Jordan?
Just for all you artists out there, this is a great opportunity to present and promote your work. And this city and this chamber appreciates art and the work that you produce. And we would like to show it off in our community areas.
Anyone else?
Thank you, Jordan.
We have a motion and a second to approve the Shelton Arts Commission's recommendations for the placement of the Civic Center rotating art gallery. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
All opposed? All right, motion carried. Next, Aaron will provide information on the Mountain View Reservoir pre-design project.
Sure. Thank you, council. Thank you, honored to be here. Nothing's changed with this. If you recall, we received some grant monies to start investigative work. We need a new reservoir. Our high school tank reservoir is at the end of its life, and it's time to investigate the placement of a new reservoir. And that's what this study analysis was going to do. It's a preliminary investigation. They'll look at the soils, everything, to make sure that they can hold the facility. I'm going to do a lot of investigative work just to make sure that it is the correct location, which we believe we've done some initial work on that already. So if you recall, we got some grant money from the legislature in order to proceed with this. We did do a supplemental budget for the amount that they have identified in here. So we'd like to proceed with this. This will help us set us up for grants and maybe a loan potentially to build that new 1.5 million gallon reservoir. So yeah, nothing's changed. Happy to answer any questions for you guys.
All right, has anyone signed up for public comment on this? All right, can we get a reading of resolution number 1436-0426?
Resolution number 1436-0426. A resolution of the city of Shelton, Washington, authorizing the city manager to execute an on-call A&E consultant pool work order with BHC Consultants LLC for pre-design of the new Mountain View Reservoir.
All right, do we have a motion?
Mayor Sherman, I move to adopt resolution number 1436-0426 as written.
Second.
All right, council members, do we have any questions or comments?
Quality and quantity of water, please bring it. And we're gonna have some growth in the future. People are already coming. So this is a good step in that direction, and we're looking forward to the big tank in the future as well.
Us too, thank you.
We have many important projects in the city over the next several years. This is probably one of the most important projects that we have. Without this tank, this could stop any kind of growth at all that we would probably obtain. I mean, we desperately need it, and all of our old tanks are not earthquake proof, but this would definitely carry us into the future, probably 30 years, I think.
On the north side of town,
North side
we'll
of
still
town.
have some deficiencies on the
Yeah.
south side of town before
So-
long, but we're lucky enough to, I'm sorry.
Yep.
Council member, we're lucky enough to have great support from our 35th delegation, received $1.8 million to address the Angleside Reservoir. That should be coming to bid very, very soon. And then this is the second $500,000, or part of the second $500,000, $1 million total we've received from direct appropriations to address the north side of town and not the Reservoir and not the pressure zone. So, yes, this goes a long ways to addressing the north side of town. As you know, we have a valley down here, two hillsides. We don't pump our water necessarily. They're all at reservoirs, so that's where you get your water pressure based on those elevations. So we do pump it up the hill to that reservoir on the south side, but it's nearing capacity. And we'll need to add another one in the future.
All right. Anyone else? Okay. We have a motion and a second to adopt resolution number 1436-0426 as presented. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
All opposed? Motion carried. Okay. Thank you. All right, next we have Stormwater Technician Patrick Huffman with the Stormwater Capacity Grant Amendment.
Good evening, Mayor, Deputy Mayor, council members. Nothing has changed since I first presented the grant award acceptance for the PCB transformer project, which we like to conduct in cooperation with PUD3. Grant award acceptance amounts to $449,000. And I'd just like to say that this may not be the most aesthetically noticeable project in the city, but it's proactive and a great opportunity for us to do something that's not only good for the environment, but for public health and for the city in general. So I'm happy to answer any questions.
All right, has anyone signed up for public comment?
We don't have any.
Okay. Can we get a reading of resolution number 1437-0426?
Resolution number 1437-0426. A resolution of the council of the city of Shelton, Washington, authorizing the city manager to sign for and accept $449,150 in grant funds from the Department of Ecology for a PCB electrical transformer replacement project.
All right, do we have a motion?
Mayor Sherman, I move to adopt resolution number 1437-0426 as presented.
Second. All right, do we have any other questions or comments on that?
It's important that we get the PCBs out of our city and decrease the chances of us being exposed to more carcinogens. So thank you for getting this forward. And even though it's not the coolest project around, it's really for our best public safety. So thank you.
Anyone else? All right. We have a motion and a second to adopt resolution number 1437-0426 as presented. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
All opposed? Motion carried. Okay, where we at? Okay, lastly, Pat will provide information on the PUD interlocal agreement for the ecology grant funded PCB project.
Okay, so nothing has changed with this ILA, which the attorney, our city attorney has approved. PUD3 is running the exact same ILA to their board of commissioners. Basically, at the same time we are doing this, so that's happening. And essentially to reiterate, the couple key points is that PUD3 will be responsible to do all the work, and we will be administering the funds and will not be responsible for any funds above these, beyond the started grant award, so. Yeah, happy to answer any questions about this as well.
Has anyone signed up for public comment?
We don't have any.
All right, can we get a reading of resolution number 1438-0426?
Resolution number 1438-0426. A resolution of the council of the city of Shelton, Washington, authorizing the city manager to sign an interlocal agreement with Public Utility District Number 3 of Mason County, UD3, for an ecology grant funded PCV electrical transformer replacement project.
All right, do we have a motion?
Mayor Sherman, I move to adopt resolution number 1438-0426 as presented.
Second.
Council members, do we have any questions or comments? No? Pretty versed on this one? All right, good. We have a motion and a second to adopt resolution number 1438-0426 as presented. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
All opposed? Motion carries. All right, next we have the city manager report.
Nothing for you tonight. It's nice that we are getting a lot of work done on Railroad Avenue, and you see the street tree project wrapping up, and now painting going on out there. Our crews are working evenings right now to get some of the painting done to minimize impact to traffic. Also, it makes it safer for them because there is less traffic, and you'll see the new red brick color going in the sidewalks, and will soon be going in some of the turn pockets. Unfortunately, it's not going as far as we hope, so there might be some gaps in the next couple of weeks while we have some on order, but I think that there's an example of several examples out there, what it looks like and how it's really looking nice down on Railroad Avenue. So appreciate our crews that are working so hard out there. All of our utility streets and engineering departments. It's a great team to have them here and working so hard for our community.
Thank you. All right, do we have any new items to discuss?
Mayor Sherman, I have a new item to discuss. I would like to add the Pride Proclamation to the June 2nd presentations, and I would like a roll call vote, please.
Second.
Councilmember Bush?
Nay.
What? Shouldn't there be discussion?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Sorry.
So I heard it. So Councilmember Gutierrez, that was a motion, yes.
And there was a second. All right, and discussion.
Yeah, I would like to read an article I sent to the Journal 2 years ago. It said, "Dear neighbors, inclusion and equity are not only moral imperatives, but also they are crucial drivers of economic development. As we head into the month of June, the city of Shelton might renew its commitment to recognize the equality of all, by proclaiming June 2024 as LGBTQ+ Pride Month. With the spirit of community, I invite all of you to support the recognition of LGBTQ+ Pride Month for the city of Shelton and all of Mason County. A community that embraces diversity and fosters an inclusive environment is more attractive to businesses, investors, and talent. Supporting equal rights for all sends a powerful message that Mason County is a welcoming place where everyone can thrive. This inclusivity enables us to attract a diverse workforce, foster innovations, and drive economic growth. Research consistently shows that diverse and inclusive workplaces are more productive and more profitable. Companies that prioritize diversity and inclusion tend to outperform their peers, experience higher employee satisfaction, and attract top talent. By supporting LGBTQ+ rights and promoting an inclusive community, we are positioning Mason County as a forward-thinking and competitive region for growth. By championing inclusivity, we make Mason County an appealing destination for businesses who are increasingly seeking locations that promote diversity, equity, and inclusion. Moreover, supporting LGBTQ+ Pride Month is an opportunity to demonstrate our commitment to social justice and equity. The Pride Proclamation reflects our values as a community and helps build a positive reputation. Simply put, inclusivity is good for business. It is essential for the well-being of the community when all residents feel valued and respected. We are positively liberated and positively motivated to build a stronger, more cohesive community. This sense of belonging leads to greater civic engagement, volunteerism, and a vibrant local economy. Please help our community move in the direction of inclusion and promote opportunities for all, and open up every avenue to celebrate the content of our individual characters. Peace, love, and justice, Miguel Gutierrez. This was in 2024 in the June Mesa County Journal. It's not new. We're not doing anything new. The only thing that's changed is the amount of co-sponsors and sponsors that want this done in the city. It's increased dramatically from like 6 to like over 14 now. So we are ignoring them if we ignore declaring pride in Shelton. And we see you and we value you, and you are welcome here.
Is anybody else, any comment?
Tonight we had 55 people come out from Shelton and the surrounding community to talk about the Pride Proclamation. And of those, 40 of you encouraged us to reconsider it. Many of you shared stories of the discrimination and violence that you have and continue to experience. And I'm sorry that you experienced that discrimination and violence. I'm sorry that you continue to experience it. And I'm sorry you had to relive it here in front of us today. I'm sorry.
I've been trying to figure out how I was going to say this all week and why I think it's important that we do the Pride Proclamation. For one, people should feel safe in their community and feel welcome. Two, I'm doing it for a lot of other reasons. I'm doing it for my first wife of 20 years who had to live a life with a man because she was afraid to live the life she wanted to live. I mean, I loved her, but she decided that she needed something else in her life, and I'm happy for her. She's been married for 20 years now. I'm doing it for my daughter, who I love a lot, who is also a lesbian. I'm doing it for the people at the coffee stand. I'm doing it for the city employees. I'm doing it for our neighbors. Please don't shake your head while I'm talking, please. I think it's just the right thing to do. And then I heard a lot of stuff today about we shouldn't honor one group of people or one person, but we do it every week here. I pledge of allegiance to the flag of the United States of America, to the republic which is stands one nation under God. We just worship God, right? Here every Tuesday, well, every other Tuesday. Or money says in God we trust. Every time we spend $1, we have we have God on there. So I'm not sure that argument is the best one to use. I think that, again, I'm doing it for my neighbors. I'm doing it for our employees. I'm doing it for my ex-wife, my daughter, my nephew, cousins, and whoever else feels like they're left out. I mean, it's just absolutely the right thing to do. And that is just what I'm going to say right now.
Melissa, do you have any words? George? Lindsay?
I've stated my position already.
So I wish I had more time to sit back, read over all the notes, because I do take notes on public comment. It matters to me what our community says. That is our role, is to represent our community. And in the past couple of days, I have received probably 30-ish or so emails in support of not. But tonight, as Tom has mentioned, there's been a lot of comments for. And some things that hurt me personally is when people use the words hate. That hurt me a lot. This wasn't about people for me. This was about government doing things that were for government. And so, roads, public safety, things like that. And I've always believed that government shouldn't be involved in your personal affairs. To me, it wasn't personal. It was just, let's do our job, right? Our job was to fix the roads and make sure you have water, and when make sure that we have police when you need them. I have been belittled online over the past week. Names were called last week's meeting. I've been threatened by our very community. But I take people's opinions very seriously in my role. And even if it's not my personal opinion, and maybe I'm not for something, it's not about me, it's about our community. And tonight, I heard a lot of voices that some of them I've heard before, some of them are my friends, and some people I've never met before. And people shared stories that I didn't need to know. I'm not an unreasonable person. But this isn't about me. And if this makes our community feel better, I will not stop it. So, not about me. There, I said my thing. All right.
If there's no more further discussion on this council, we call for a vote, Madam Mayor.
Call the
right.
question and a roll call vote, please.
All right. Yes, Will.
Councilmember Bush,
No.
Councilmember Stearns. Yay. Councilmember Anisko,
Yay.
Mayor Sherman,
Pass.
Is that an affirmative vote or abstention? Okay.
Deputy Mayor Sapp,
Nay.
Councilmember Gilmore,
Yes.
Councilmember Gutierrez.
Yay.
Motion carries.
Pardon me? Oh, no, that was an affirmative. Okay.
So is that motion carried?
Yes.
All right, your motion carries. All right, so the next meeting is scheduled for Tuesday, June 2nd at 2026 at 6 p.m. And the next study session is May 26th. This meeting is adjourned at.
Mayor, can I interrupt 1 second?
Yes, please.
Deputy Mayor Sapp, did you have an item you talked about
Oh.
earlier you wanted to add?
You know what? I will mention it at the next study session. This has gone for too long.
Apologize.
Okay, sorry. This meeting is adjourned at 8:57 p.m.
Very bright.
Good, you got the
Warrant sign, all right. Council, make sure you sign documents, please.
You got it.
Well, to government entity.
Oh, thank you.
You did the right thing.
Right, well, it's not about me, you know what I
Yeah,
mean?
you
Like,
did the right thing.
the whole time I'm just trying to make it faster.
Thank
That
you.
clearly didn't work, so here we are.
Sorry.